What's up? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to set up your Godox lighting kit for wedding photography. So in this video in specific, I'm going to be showing you how to set up a 3-light kit with Godox, and if you don't have Godox lights, this video will probably still help because it's how we're going to configure it all that really makes the difference. Now, our main goals with setting up our lights is going to be versatility, convenience, and speed. Now, the Godox kit that I'm working with is the Godox V862 speed light, the Godox X2T trigger, and I'm working with two AD200 Pros. Now, there's two key configurations that we're going to want to be able to use with these flashes. First, we want to be able to use one or two of the AD200s off camera with the trigger on our camera. The other configuration is 1 to 2 of the AD200s off camera, but instead of the trigger, we have the speed light on our camera. So why these two configurations? Well, the AD200s can be fired either from the trigger or from a Godox speed light. There are times when we will want to have the trigger or the speed light on camera, and when we've got the speed light on camera, we can switch from on and off camera flash or a blend of both with just a click of a couple buttons. This allows us to be super versatile and we can be ready at any moment. So step one, we need to get the trigger, the AD200s, and the speed light to the same radio channel. All right, let's set the channel on our trigger first. We're gonna turn on the trigger. We will click menu, go all the way down until we see channel, set. Now we can choose our desired channel. Once you have your channel, click set again and then menu to exit out. And now your channel is set. Now we can set the channel on our speed light. We need to make sure we're in a radio mode. So click this button with the zigzag to cycle through the different modes until you see radio ETTL master. Now I'm going to click mode to change it over to the group and then go to the next set of menus. Our channel button is right here. And then we can cycle through the channels. And once you have your desired channel, click the channel button again. And that's all you have to do to set the channel on the speed light. Last but not least, let's set the channel on our AD200. We are going to turn it on. Then this group channel button up here, we need to hold that. When we hold the group channel button, it will make the channel indicator blink. Then we can scroll through and pick our desired channel. Then we hold the group channel button again to make it stop. And just so you know, all of mine are set to channel 21. There is no rhyme or reason. That is just what I've chosen. Step 2 is going to be to set the groups on the AD200s. Now, we're not going to use group A, and I'll explain why in a minute. So if you're unsure what groups are labeled A, B, C, D, etc. These groups is how your trigger communicates with each off-camera flash. If you wanted both of your AD200s to fire at the same power level, then you can just put them both onto group B. Then on your trigger, you adjust the power level of group B, and that would adjust the power of both of the AD200s at the same time. Now, if you wanted those two flashes to be at different powers, then you'd put one on group B and one on group C. Then you could adjust the power of one by adjusting group B and adjust the power of the other by adjusting group C. Now, how we change the group on the AD200s is really simple. We can see right now it's on group A. We don't want that. So I'm going to click this and now we're on group B. It's just the click of this button right here. You can cycle through all of the different groups. And so now we're on group B. And then if I grab my trigger right here, I can click B for group B and then mode, TTL, mode again. Now I'm on manual. And so now when I do this little scroll wheel, I can see the flash power changing in correlation to the flash power on the trigger. And then if I click the test flash button, it flashes. That was pretty bright. 8th power. Do it again. Ready? Jesus Christ. Don't do that. Okay? All right, so the next step is getting our speed light set up as a trigger. We can turn it on, and you're gonna cycle through, make sure that you are on radio, and it's gonna show radio ETTL. Now we're gonna change the mode until we see GR. That's gonna be radio, group, and it's set up as the master. And now your speed light is automatically set up as group A, which is why we didn't set the AD200s to group A just a few minutes ago. So now why this is super cool is because we're able to switch between on and off camera flash, or a mix of both, by having this on our camera in this group mode. If we have A and B on, A is the speed light, B is our AD200s. With this, we would be firing both our on-camera flash and our off-camera flashes. If we didn't want the off-camera flashes to fire, and we only wanted to use on-camera flash, we would turn off group B, which is the AD200s. Now, if we wanted the AD200s to fire and not the on-camera flash, we just turn off group A. So it gives you really quick flexibility. So if you're in one space and then you go to another space or a different angle, you can really easily turn off all your flashes and adjust power levels without making big changes. Now, before I show you how to go through the groups and modes on the speed light and the trigger, you should know that these will compete against each other. So if your trigger is on and on your camera, make sure the speed light's off. If the speed light is on your camera, make sure the trigger is off, because if this is trying to communicate with your flashes and this is trying to communicate with your flashes, they're gonna compete and it's gonna like switch power levels on you. So changing the group adjustments on the trigger is super easy. You've got A, B, C, D, E. Those are your corresponding groups. So I can click B, and right now it shows that it's off. If I click mode, first it goes to TTL, which I don't use. Then we go to manual, and when it's on manual, we can change the power level, or we can click mode to turn it off again. Always make sure that you're on the correct group before you start turning the dial. Now, when it comes to adjusting the groups on the speed light, it's very similar. First, we can see we have ABC right here. I'm gonna click group, GR. So I'm gonna click that button, and then I'm gonna scroll down to group B. Then I'm gonna click that same button I clicked for the group, and it shows like a flash plus or minus. Click that. Now I'm over at the power level, and I can adjust the power. And then I can click mode to turn it off, TTL, manual, off. A would be the same thing. Just click that to adjust the power, adjust it, click it again to lock it in place. All right, so that is how I have my flashes set at all times. My 8200s are always in group B. Sometimes one of them will be in group C. The speed light is always group A. And whenever I know I don't need on-camera flash, I'm using the trigger. This is because the trigger weighs a lot less. It's easier on my wrist. But during a reception, often I am using this on camera. That way, when I'm moving around, I can sometimes use on-camera flash or direct flash, and sometimes I can use off camera, and then sometimes I can blend them together. And it's super easy and functional. So this is how I recommend to set up your Godox flashes for wedding photography, because it's very efficient. Everything is always set and ready to trigger your AD200s. No guesswork, and you'll be ready for anything. All right, we will see you in the next video.